I appreciate you as a human. I hate some of your decks. Am I the asshole? I, Crimson, was showing about 4 new players how to play, showing them interactions, showing them the basics of the game. Granted, yes, I was playing a white-green elf deck, but I was pulling my punches. I was casting spells, not doing anything else, not attacking or anything. One of these guys had just built a black-white removal-based deck, with my help. Dragon, as I will call him here, showed up a bit late to the LGS. Me and the 4 players wrapped up a game and allowed him to shuffle up and play. As the game progressed, Dragon was honestly being a dick, bragging about his Dragon deck, hence the nickname, just being overall toxic at the table. Dragon had a reputation at said store. They referred to him as the Blading Ginger Loudmouth. Anywho, then we get to the turn in question. I cast Lord of Leaves. Dragon immediately demands that he kills my Lord of Leaves, which he couldn't have at the time. He tapped out to remove something else before my turn. I protect my lords with Swiftfoot Boots, making all my elves untargetable. Dragon's turn casts the thing that made his lands all types. I think nothing of it. It's Dragon, gotta fix that mana. Removal player's turn, draws, and moves to main phase. Dragon basically demands removal to remove my lord. I then attempt to calmly explain to Dragon that he can't. Nothing on my board can be removed. This proceeds to carry on with Dragon, demanding people to remove my board for a solid 10 minutes. I have had enough of it by this point. I asked him as calmly as I could, "You got anything protection in your hand?" He answered, "No." "Why?" I then announced to the table, "I'm moving to attack." Declare more than lethal on Dragon. He goes, "Move to declare blocks?" I tell him, "You can't. Lord of Leaf gives all of my elves Forest Walk, and since you were so nice enough to make all of your lands all types, you can't block me. Move to damage?" He doesn't have an answer. I then proceed to tell him, "You are no longer welcome at this table," and I scoop. And then allowed the other players to enjoy a game of Commander. Am I the asshole? What do you guys think? All right, listen. It is a pet peeve of mine when people start bragging about like lots of things, and a little bit of context. I guess he was bragging about his deck as well. Yeah, he was bragging about his deck as well. He was just being a really toxic person in that chat. From what I can, like, what I've gathered from these, like, messages and stuff, like, when you're gonna be toxic, be a little bit toxic back. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's interesting. I think that, like, when you're sitting at a table trying to teach people how to play a game and you're not open yourself to criticism and taking pointers, I think like it's just not a good look for us as the community as a whole. Yeah, and you just gotta be respectful. I think that's like our #1 rule, you know what I mean, in our community at the very least, that you need to be a respectful individual. Be respectful to people, and maybe then you will be treated well, and you'll be invited back to the table. It's just, I think like devil's advocate, maybe, like on the other end, like it's kind of interesting. It's an interesting choice to kill somebody and then scoop. I don't understand why you would do, well, maybe because you had lethal, I suppose, and you let them continue playing the game. I suppose I get it. But why not just kill everybody and then move on to a new game? I think it's like really important to be kind to people, especially people that are learning how to play. And when you're like having those kinds of shenanigans around people that are learning, like, what a great first impression of like how this game is and how the community is, right? I think the official consensus here. Ooh, somebody voted yes. Who voted yes? I simply must know. I want to know why. Why do you think they're why do you think that Crimson's the asshole? I think it's a good idea to take a break every once in a while from Magic if you're feeling irritated by people. Like, if you're feeling irritated by a game, any game in general, and it's making you lash out at people, I think that you need to take a break. You need to take a step back and just, like, take a minute. I think there's, like, two sides to every story, too. So, like, I don't know. Asshole because he picked on gingers. Yeah, I'm sure the name calling isn't like to say that gingers are bad people. It's just that this particular ginger is an asshole. But it wasn't him picking on the gingers, it was the game store. It's kind of interesting that a game store would have like names for people too. Maybe we should talk about that. Like, I understand if he's kind of like a terror, but I don't know, that makes me kind of uncomfortable. If you're giving other people names like that, like, what's mine? What kind of nickname are you giving me? Is it a flattering nickname, or do you secretly hate me behind my back? Wow, the IRS agent? I mean, honestly, Shelbs, I mean, think about it, bud. You play stacks. I appreciate you as a human. I hate some of your decks. Yeah, so I think the official, like, official answer here is that Crimson is not the asshole.